So hello everyone, welcome to Football Mania. We're gonna preview the game week 12 of the Premier League. So let's start with Liverpool first. Siddhan, what's the feeling going into this game week?
Uh, Pretty good. There are a lot of players coming through. Don't have, apart from the injuries, it's quite good. The form of the players going from the Champions League is also not that bad, but just one issue would be Jota's injury. So we don't know who's going to be starting against Fulham.
Yeah, I mean, do you think out of any of the front three, anyone will be rested out of Salah, Mane, Firmino since it's Fulham? So
Uh, Minamino had a good run in the Champions League against Midtjylland or yeah, Midtjylland. He played well. He unfortunately couldn't score a goal. So look at that. And the
So,
defense can be rotated. There's no issue in that. Van Dijk is still not there.
what centre back pairing do you think Klopp will go with?
Centre back pairing, I would go with Phillips. Either Phillips and Matip or Fabinho and Matip.
All right. Any score predictions for that game? I think it's a pretty easy game for you guys.
Score prediction. I'll go with 3-0.
3-0. Okay,
I'll
so
go with 3-0.
yeah, all right. So we can go for Chelsea now. Pranay, what's the feeling coming onto this game week? I mean,
Yeah, it's a good match. Gonna be a tough match for Chelsea, and they're coming back of a dead rubber match against Krasnodar, but still couldn't unable to get the win. But at Everton, we haven't won in our last two visits. We lost two games in the last two visits actually, and it's against our former employers. Our former manager in Carlo Ancelotti. Usually, Chelsea does well in these fixtures against their former managers. In the competition, they have lost only 5 of such meetings out of 34 matches. So, but those are just numbers. What's going to happen on the pitch is crucial. And, Everton have some injury concerns. Seamus Coleman is out. Luca Digne is out. Fabian Delph had come in at left back, but he's also doubtful. So we can be hopeful to exploit the spaces on the wings. And in Chelsea, Hudson-Odoi and Ziyech both are out. So we expect Pulisic and Werner to start again on the flanks. And James Rodriguez is notorious in that he doesn't track back and doesn't defend. And this was one weakness which was exploited by Liverpool very often. Robertson was bombing down the left flank. So I think Chilwell can do the same, and hopefully we can get some joy employing that tactic.
now I think last when we did the video, you said like you will still start Giroud in this game. Is that the same feeling right now, or would you go with Tammy?
I will start with Giroud because not only is he the informed striker in our team right now, he also has a good record against Everton. Actually, he scored 6 goals in his last 8 appearances against Everton. So I would go with Giroud for this one.
What score prediction are you going for?
I'm gonna go for 2-1 victory for Chelsea, a narrow 2-1 victory.
All right. We can go to Anuj now. Anuj, what's the feeling? I mean, I'm an Arsenal fan too. I'm definitely not looking forward to this.
No feeling at all. Actually, we needed this victory so much.
Yeah.
Because our form has been very, very bad. So we needed to win this. Our Europa League form is really good. But in Premier League, we are really struggling at 15.
So yeah, I mean, it's a worst start in like 45 years. So like yes. Any changes in lineups would you make for the creativity issue to be solved?
Actually, personally, I really want to see Reece Nelson, more of Reece Nelson.
Yeah, it's weird, like Smith Rowe. Willian is not performing, but
Willian is not performing, yes, since day one.
Some chance. So
yes, that's the point.
Like even there has been a question about the form of Aubameyang. His
Yes, he is
XG
also
has
in
been reduced.
very.
Yeah. So
But
what do you think?
Aubameyang has.
Hmm.
But we really lack strikers. I mean, Lacazette is also not scoring, so it's obvious Aubameyang will start,
Hmm.
and on the and
Eddie
Saka will
Nketiah?
start for sure. Nketiah has played in Europa League, so I don't think he will get start.
But he should get one start. I feel so.
One person which I really look for is their left back, because often he's been scoring more crosses, and he's been really lethal in in attack for them. So it depends upon how Aubameyang or the striker who is going to play, how they are going to convert these crosses. So that will be really important.
Yeah,
I think Lacazette will start in central.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Anush, do you think
Yes,
like this is
because
finally the
Nketiah is.
game? This is like finally the game Aubameyang will start scoring. Like against Spurs, we did put 33 crosses in the box. I mean, at least we should have scored one goal.
Yes, and Aubameyang has scored against Burnley in the recent fixtures also. So I think it will be the game for him to score at least a brace.
Actually, Arsenal are not playing Ozil right now. Otherwise, what I would have done was I would have gone for Lacazette and Aubameyang as the strikers and Mesut Ozil as the number 10.
Ceballos was also looking good.
And we are using Willock as number 10, which I think is not good at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
I watched a fans clip after the last game. He was very emotional. He said, I mean, he said that you know what? There's no tactics. It's just that pass a long ball, play on the left, pass a long ball to Aubameyang, and just pray that he scores.
Yes.
And it was very emotional and not very articulate, but it struck. I mean, actually,
and we are
against
seriously
in the
lacking the
FA Cup
creativity
games.
in the team.
Yeah, in the FA Cup games, I mean, the team is very reliant on Aubameyang, and somehow he will have a dry spell. Maybe
and that's why we are on the 15th.
Yeah, maybe he can play number 9, which was
because there is no other person to score.
Yeah, I think Nicholas Pepe should start over William.
He's still banned.
He's on red. He's on red. Yes.
Okay.
He headbutted.
Yeah, because of the headbutt. I guess.
Because of the headbutt.
Yeah, he's trying to Zidane. I think.
Yes, that's why William will start.
Yeah.
What do you think about Arteta's position? Like we saw this similar question where Emery was sacked, and what do you think about the future? Will he remain as the manager, or
he will get 1-2 season? I think.
I think
he has delivered us the FA Cup, so we really hope.
I think he needs 1 or 2 transfer windows, in my opinion, to get Arsenal on track.
Yes.
But Arteta has made a lot of mistakes also, I feel. Yes, he won the FA Cup, but I mean, even as a neutral, I'm crying for Ozil. I want to see him.
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
And
either
letting go of Lucas Torreira and Gunduzi was also a big mistake. Lucas Torreira, he was a beast.
Yes,
Lucas Torreira was very good.
The issue with Torreira was like, I think he said it in a recent interview, like he had really issues with his language, so he couldn't adapt to the English language and the culture. And he couldn't even adapt to Atletico, so he's still starting there too. I think his issue is there. I mean, I agree with Gunduzi. I think he's a way better CM than Xhaka.
But yes, we have got Party. So
but there was some disciplinary issues, right?
Yeah. He held that Brighton guy's neck after that.
There was some controversy with Aubameyang also recently.
I mean, Arsenal.
Aubameyang.
Every player is in controversy in Arsenal.
Yeah, sort of. That goes around.
Controversy with Aubameyang, I think, was that his dip in form coincided with him signing a new contract.
Yeah.
And that's what United fans are worried, because they are preparing a contract for Bruno Fernandes.
Yes.
I mean, Pranay, can you help us with like what's happening with Willian? I think we signed him off like the best season he had at Chelsea, which was last season. Like, do you see like that was his best season, or then what's happening right now?
No, actually, in the last season, he wasn't doing particularly well. It was only in the
Yes.
post-lockdown period that he
Hmm.
stepped up. Because I admire Willian and he's been a great servant to Chelsea, but he hasn't really been that kind of player which we expected of him. I mean, last season before the lockdown, he had just like very few goals and few assists, and he was supposed to be the man taking the mantle from Hazard, but he didn't quite do that. So I've always considered Willian an overrated player, though no
Yes, same
disrespect to
here.
him.
No,
Yeah,
ZH is
I
in
have a point to
like
make. I mean, as Pranay said, Willian had to take the mantle from Hazard, but I felt Pulisic stepped up even more. I mean,
Yeah, he
he
did.
was fantastic.
Pulisic is
yes,
a great player.
He's
he
struggling a bit with fitness issues right now, but in his prime, he was fantastic. And also, Chelsea offered him Willian a 1-year contract extension, but he wanted a 3-year deal, and
yeah.
that I feel was a
Actually,
red flag. And Chelsea made a very good decision by not
Good decision.
offering him a 3-year
Yes,
extension.
because he's already 33.
Yeah,
yes,
and Arsenal
33?
made the blunder. I mean, that was a red flag. A
Yes.
33-year-old player
Hmm.
asking for a 3-year contract. That was
Yes.
a big red
yeah.
flag.
Actually, we have a policy of 1-year contracts only for 30 plus players, but for Willian, we had extended it to 2 years.
2 years.
But yeah, but he didn't agree.
Yeah.
So Arsenal should have seen the red flag. That was very
It's
immature of the
interesting
board.
the players who go from Chelsea to Arsenal don't perform well, but those who come from Arsenal to Chelsea,
Yes.
they like
Yeah.
step
That's
it up.
really true.
Now, Anuj, coming back to you, like it's never fun to play Burnley. I mean, we really don't like them. I mean, what score prediction are you going for?
I'm going for 2-1 victory.
Do you think?
And Aubameyang with a brace.
All right.
Is it
So,
at Turf Moor or Emirates?
I mean,
Emirates.
thank God it's not a tough move. I hate that question.
Emirates.
I remember, I think it was Arsene Wenger's final match, Arsenal versus Burnley.
Yeah, 5-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now coming to Abhishek for the Leicester game, like you guys are coming off the
Brighton.
eighth and 2-0 victory, and you're going to be facing Brighton. So what's the
Yeah.
feeling for that game?
So I feel like there is an increase in coaches trying out different teams in different competitions. Like there is a second team playing for the European spot. So this time we saw Cengiz Under getting a start and getting a goal as well. So the calls have been for him to start in the Premier League also. So that is one thing to watch out for. And the league form is not bad. We either win or lose. There are just no draws for us. So we either tend to keep leads or we just throw them away. Brighton would be they can be tricky. Lewis Dunk is a pretty good centre back and he guides the defense very well. So that can be one sort of an issue. But I don't see them slipping up this time because it's at home and um, some sort of support will always be there because now the audiences are allowed. So looking forward to a good game. I think we can impose our playing style on a team like Brighton because they're not very defensive and they're also not particularly hard to play against. So I feel like we can go for a victory, something like maybe 3-0 with the first team starters in Jamie Vardy, Madison coming back, and maybe Under maybe given a chance to play as well. But I would really like to see how the different setups are because he's trying out different teams in different competitions.
Yeah.
I personally feel that uh, Leicester could do with a couple of left-footed players because we play a
Yeah.
right-footed left back as well. So that's something which is very odd. I feel.
Yeah, even James Justin played at left back, if I'm not wrong.
Yes,
Left
yes.
wing
James
back,
just
sorry.
left wing back.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty odd to see that, and we could do with a player like Mahrez who's left-footed, so we could probably bring in some talent like that.
So I think you pretty much covered it all. I was going to ask you about
What
any
about
game.
Ricardo Pereira? Is he back like
No,
full?
he's still not. He's still not back, and I think it's a very big injury. And he was I think he was one of the most balanced right backs when he was there. He was probably almost as good as Van der Saka while defending, and almost as good, or almost as good as Trent Alexander when going forward. So he was a pretty balanced sort of right back, but his injury has hit us hard, and then losing Chilwell also. So the fullback positions are some places where we can be exploited. I understand, but let's see how it goes. I think going forward we are a good side, and playing passes, forward-looking passes. I think we are good.
Is Soyuncu still out for this one?
I don't know. I've not done my homework on that, but
Yeah.
uh, I would have to check on that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But
I think defensive pairing. Johnny Evans is still there, so
yeah. I mean,
he
and
is.
how impressed have you been with like that new signing, Wesley Fofana? Am I pronouncing his name right?
Fofana,
Yes,
I
that's
not
correct.
follow him that much.
Okay.
Uh,
He's good. He's good.
Yeah.
is
He
Anyone
has.
who has seen him?
I've seen him. He is
Yeah.
confident on the ball. He can carry.
He's also quite young, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's 19.
That's a big bonus.
Yeah.
I think our scouts are good enough to get players at least who can perform in the short term. Like Inacho is a good replacement sort of a striker. Although he's now scoring goals in the Europa League, but yeah, that's pretty much it from my side.
Okay, so now we can come on to the big one, the Manchester Derby. So, Hari, you can go with some. What you're feeling about the cities coming into this one?
Like you know, they had a tough game against Tottenham and Liverpool. Then coming with two wins. Yeah, the atmosphere is really good, and Sergio Aguero is back. So we want him scoring goals again. But I don't think maybe we can expect him to start today. But yeah, strikers has been the issue with City, and the reason form I would say, like other than Mahrez and the others, like they have a lot of shots, but the shots on target is the conversion rate is really less. So we haven't been scoring that much. Okay, of course Burnley match that was easy. And, Burnley and Mahrez,
It's always
never-ending
easy.
story. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but it's it's a tough guess. And even for the Manchester United, the atmosphere we have seen, the recent losses and the Pogba situation. I don't know how the dressing room, there will be. So we'll see how it goes, and I hope City, they'll get a win. We'll see how it goes. Really, the
And
numbers.
City
Yeah, yeah,
and City is one team where you don't have any problem with left-footed players. You have enough of them.
Yeah.
yeah. It's but yeah, we'll see. The team really has so many changes for each and every match. So they have been trying so many formations, and the absence of Fernandino and David Silva has made a big hole in the midfield. So that's why we have seen drastic changes in the performance of the City's first team. So Gundogan and Rodri, they are not keeping the level where David Silva, De Bruyne, and Fernandino had in the midfield area. So I think they'll dominate the ball, but we'll see how the shot goes. Yeah, all thing falls on Kevin De Bruyne. So we'll see how he plays. So he'll have a much bigger impact. And obviously it's a fight between now Fernandes and KDB.
Okay.
So we'll see. Like
So do you
Hari,
think Phil
what
Foden
about
is as good as David
yes,
Silva?
I
Like,
was
can he
coming
fill the
to Phil Foden.
see, he has exciting potential, but experience that really matters, and how he's going to change and learn, how he's going to adapt to situations, that is really important. Because David Silva, he really likes to progress with the ball, cutting and going into the final thirds or something, giving some crucial passes. So we'll have to see how this style is going to be, because we had two different styles between Tottenham and Liverpool. So 4-2-3-1, that didn't really work, even with having nearly 70% position. But we'll see. But I wanted Pep to start Bernardo Silva, but his form is not being so great. But I love him to perform. I really want him to perform today.
There is a statistic. So Phil Foden, since the start of last season, has the best minutes to goal involvement for players aged under 21.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. That's very interesting.
Ahead of the likes of Mason Greenwood, Callum Hudson-Odoi.
That's very
Interesting.
thinking.
And
Thought-provoking.
actually, if you look at it, his form actually ramped up since the restart period. Actually, before that, it wasn't that great.
And even before lockdown, he wasn't getting the minutes which he
Minutes
really
we get.
deserved, because there are a lot of players there in the midfield and a lot of options, and so it we even as a fan, even I wanted him to play more. But yeah, it's the ultimate call from Pep and how he feels about the team, and that's how he really goes. We'll see.
KDB or Fernandes?
KDB for me.
KDB.
Yeah, but
KDB.
this season's stats, won't reflect
No.
that. I really agree, because Bruno, like, you cannot call him, like, he has some more open play goals this time. It's not only from penalties, and it is really difficult. But yeah, experience will matter, in the kind of, this atmosphere. We'll see who, takes the lead.
What
The
score
first goal
prediction
is
are you
going
going for?
I go with 2-1 for City.
Okay. Now coming on to Shivam, like, how would you line up going into this game? I know that you have a pretty disappointing weekend for the you're
Yeah.
out of the Champions League now. Welcome to the Europa League, by the way.
Welcome to the Europa League.
It was
Thursday night
And
football.
actually
because there
I didn't watch the game. As I said in the group, I watched the Juventus versus Barca game. I was not going to waste my time watching the live game. I saw the 11, and my heart was in my mouth. I was like, oh no, this is the setup for a disaster.
Yeah.
And after the first half, I saw the score. It was 2-0.
Yeah.
Again, my instincts were like, oh, it is happening. It is happening.
Forgy time.
And after the game, Juventus versus Barca game, I was soaking in the intensity, the enjoyment. It was a beautiful game of football, especially the moment before just the final, before the initial whistle, Messi and Ronaldo hugged.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sideways hug.
Moment of the match.
It was so special. Yeah, it was so, and the intensity was good. Barca wasn't at their fluent best, but both the teams were attacking. Juventus were good. They were
Will there
high
be the last
they were
match
energetic.
against each other?
Yeah,
Ronaldo versus Messi, the last match ever.
yeah, the last dance possibly.
possibly.
Well, I hope Portugal and Argentina are drawn somewhere in the World Cup.
In the World Cup.
But it's like it's the odds. I mean, you can never predict it.
Imagine this scenario: Portugal versus Argentina, the
World Cup final. Yes. Dream scenario.
Battle for supremacy.
Yes.
And now coming to the dull affair, Manchester United.
Yes, we were waiting for that.
Yeah. So I checked out a lot of previews, and I heard that probably Dean Henderson will be starting. He's a great keeper, but David De Gea was not to be blamed for the defeat. It was more to the setup, the atmosphere that Ole has created in the team. And the centre back pairing, Luke Shaw just coming off after injury. He was decent. I didn't watch the game fully, but this Harry Maguire and Lindelof pairing is not.
I mean, did you watch the third?
I don't know,
goal?
like,
Did you watch the third
no
goal
look
against
defending
PSG?
and no defending. We had so much of memes like that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Shivam, did you watch the third goal for during that PSG game? I mean, Maguire just let it go. And even
Yeah.
come out with that.
I saw the game.
So, I mean, it probably doesn't matter what would you go with. Like, it's pretty sure that Ole would go with Maguire and Lindelof at the back.
Ole loves Maguire and McTominay.
Yeah.
And Fernandes.
Yeah.
Fernandes is the talisman of the team.
So Fernandes. Yeah.
But
Fernandes.
Fernandes and Rashford are being overplayed. They're playing a lot of minutes. They
playing a
need to
lot
be
of
rested, I feel.
They have been carrying
Especially
the club
Rashford,
on
he's
their
still a
shoulders.
young guy. He still needs that time off. Fernandes is very motivated and inspired player. I mean, after
Yeah.
that defeat,
And
he will come at
he
City.
presses a lot. He presses the defense a lot, and that's a big part of his game, that he does the dirty side of the attacking work as well. So that, and it's a very nice thing to have in a team.
Yeah,
He
and
does everything. He tracks back. When he reads the game very well.
and his
the game.
importance was also seen against West Ham. The first half, Man U were lackluster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, what would you have to say about that? Like every time you guys go 1-0 up, 1-0 down, you're certainly a different team. Shivam.
Yeah. We need to.
The players realize that Ollie's job
first
might
to
again
get
be
back.
under scrutiny, so they step up.
So, I mean, you asked that what would be my lineup, but my lineup would be I will give at least Eric Bailly is fit. Eric Bailly and Tuanzebe, they were fit even in the Leipzig game.
Yeah.
But Ole, he does not rate them.
Osman is also not that bad.
Yeah, so I'll probably Lindelof and Bailly were a very decent pair in Mourinho's era.
Yeah.
So I'll probably go with Lindelof and Bailly. I'll have Tuanzebe on the bench. Maguire, I'll drop.
But Maguire is captain.
I'll drop. I'm the manager.
Fernandes.
I'm the manager here. I'm the manager here.
What about Juan Mata? I think he should start.
I feel Greenwood is in good form. I mean,
Yeah, that's. But the creativity
I'll have Mata
part.
on the bench. Just in case. Greenwood will start definitely for me. I'll have Lindelof, Bailly, Wan-Bissaka and Telles. And the problem with Manchester United was that tactically, Telles and Wan-Bissaka have been protecting this centre-back pair of Lindelof and Maguire. They suck in instead of playing as proper fullbacks.
Proper attacking fullbacks, they play as more of defensive.
Yeah. Wan-Bissaka is not very good with the ball on his feet. But still, he has to at least play as a proper defensive fullback. Telles is,
in my opinion, Wan-Bissaka should, stay back. He should support the centre-back pairing, and they should in midfield, instead of two number 6s, they should play either Matic or Fred, and then he can play an extra, creative midfielder, so that all the creativity burden on Bruno Fernandes is not there.
Yeah,
and the wake of Mata.
Yeah.
But then which formation would that be?
I'll play with the 4-1-2-3.
4-1-2. Right.
Okay, but then that's not a double six.
I'll have Fred as CDM, and Bruno and Donny will play Bruno will play on a little to the left, Donny will play a little to the right, so that Wan-Bissaka does not have to go on attacking from the right. And Donny gives those delightful balls to Greenwood, and Greenwood can latch onto them. And I'll seeing the fitness, Rashford, I saw him look a bit lackluster and tired. So I'll probably, if his fitness levels are not up to the mark, I'm not up to the mark. I mean, it's not there for the game. I'll probably start Dan James. He was good against City in the league games last year.
Yeah.
And United play better when they counter attack instead of and everyone knows City will play the possession game. So I'll be like play like a bit like Tottenham, sit back and hit them on the counter. The only problem is that our defense is not like Mourinho's Tottenham.
Yeah.
But still, that is going to be the strategy, meaningful strategy. So Greenwood will be there on the right wing, James or Rashford on the left wing, and I will have a number 9. Martial or Cavani, their fitness levels have to be monitored. But I feel probably one of them will be fit, and if not, I'll probably start Igalo. But because United need a number 9, you can't.
I forgot Igalo.
How about Martial and Cavani?
They didn't make the trip to Leipzig because of fitness concerns. So they'll be probably monitored tomorrow
I think
evening.
Cavani is
Martial is
surely
kind
out.
of off form.
Yeah, Cavani is out, I think.
Yeah, so whoever is fit, because if you don't play a proper number 9, then you put too much pressure on both the wingers and Bruno Fernandes, and that is not good.
I
You
mean,
can't put too
I
much
think.
pressure.
Do you think he might go with like Greenwood and Rashford as the two strikers, like he did versus West Ham in the first half? Did
Yeah,
Rashford
but
start?
it didn't work, I guess.
Yeah, obviously.
United need a proper number 9, and they
Yes,
both are
I
very
agree.
young wingers. I mean, you're putting too much pressure on them,
Yeah, true.
and also on Bruno, because he feels that he has to come up and score as well.
Yeah.
Track
Score.
back, defend, and then give balls, and then also take the responsibility to score. So that will put too much pressure on.
Little too much. Yeah.
I want to ask Hari that who will start on the left back, Cancelo or Mendy? Because
I
I'm
would.
very afraid of Cancelo. I
Yeah.
really
Nah,
like him.
no, really, I will, personally feel Cancelo
Cancelo.
should start. See, because both the teams have pacey players, on the both the flanks or anywhere. In case of counter attack, say we need Cancelo because Mendy, I don't think he can, uh,
Track back.
yeah, that's really a problem with him. So I will go with Cancelo and Walker. But yeah, in both the teams, the fullbacks, their performance will impact a lot because uh, both teams have pacey players who can counter really well. We'll see. I'll go with Cancelo and Walker.
So
Also, Cancelo can, the way Guardiola wants his fullbacks playing in midfield, he can do that also.
Yeah, he's very good
Yeah.
with the ball.
Yes.
He can
Like
strike the shots from long distance
as
as well.
we have seen, in the past, like if Cancelo is playing left back, he'll push higher, and practically Walker will become the third centre back. So they
Yeah.
have even that kind of a thing
What about
in the
Stones?
defensively. Stones,
Stones?
like I don't know, like he'll. I guess he'll not start. Really, I'll go with Diaz
Diaz and
and
Laporte.
yeah,
Laporte.
Laporte.
That's a
Stones
dream
is so
centre back
error
pairing.
prone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Laporte and
who's
Diaz.
the,
Yeah.
who's the second centre back then, along with Laporte?
Diaz,
Yes,
Ruben
Ruben
Diaz.
Diaz.
And Diaz.
Okay.
Ruben Diaz.
Ruben Diaz.
So, like, Shivam, are you optimistic for this one? I mean, it seems like Ole has got Pep's number 3 out of 4 times last season. So, are you optimistic going into the game?
Look, I mean, Pep is a better coach than Ole. Even I will admit that. Yeah, 3 out of 4.
Pep is the best in the world.
United played without. Look, if United play as underdogs,
Yeah.
if Ole is in that underdog zone, he was
Yeah.
as the underdog. So they play better. I mean, last year they played. I feel the counter attacking helped. If you counter attack it effectively against City, then you can hold them back. But in this game, there's a lot of parameters. There's a lot of pressure on Oli and Bruno. And Bruno, I feel if he's the one to watch out for. Because whenever he had a good game in a normal standards, but by Bruno standards, he didn't have the best game against Leipzig. None of his fault, and he looks very motivated and inspired to hit back at City. And United rely on individual brilliance. So I want to advise Pep Guardiola, if you want to win the game, then uh, keep Bruno in check. Ask someone to keep them under keep him under his tabs. If you manage to keep Bruno, if City manages to keep Bruno silent, then it's City's game.
Mostly Rodri's work then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
So-
Gundogan also not,
Yeah.
great with, physical, kind of thing. So I'll go with, Rodri. We'll see.
But
I don't-
do you think Rodri would be capable of doing that? Like, I have seen like him out of positions when even against Spurs, I think he lost his man. Like, do you see him as
Yes.
an ideal Fernandinho replacement?
No, he's definitely not, because Fernandinho is a bit of conservative when it comes to defending. So he won't be, making quick decisions, which leads to so many errors. Where particularly in, say, during the time of counter attack. So I don't know. He should be in, in his full form. That is why, this concern is also a main reason for Pep going with a double pivot in most of the games. So that's also concern for us. We'll see, because
Gundogan can play in that double pivot, isn't it?
yes, Gundogan can play, but yeah, He's not been that great, in defending, shielding, especially because he's not so great, as a
Yeah,
physical strength. Mm.
but he did play in the double pivot when he was at Dortmund.
Yeah,
The
but
club.
yeah, we have played him in a couple of games, but it wasn't
It
that
wasn't that
great,
good. Yeah.
and that is where we also lacked some goals. Also, at that time we were no Jesus and no Aguero, and Sterling has to play center forward.
And I think 4-2-3-1 is not the ideal formation to play Kevin De Bruyne also, because there is no particular position there that you can play him in a 4-2-3-1.
Yes, definitely.
Now,
4-3-3 is the
yeah.
best.
Now let's end it with some, like, we don't have any Spurs fan here right now. So how impressed have you been with Spurs this season? I mean, Pranay, we can.
I can speak for
Yeah,
Spurs.
Shivam, you
I've
can
been
go
following
first. Yeah.
I've been following Spurs a lot, especially after watching the
Yeah.
All or Nothing.
Yeah.
All or Nothing. I mean, the fact, the two lines which Marino mentions, that good boys never win the football match.
Yeah.
Cannot.
Good boys can win your heart, but they can. And he said that I want you guys to play like cunts.
Yeah.
like gentlemanly cunts, and it is
Yeah.
reflecting in the team.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
atmosphere.
Exactly.
So the winning mentality is coming at Spurs, and
he, I think, has a lot of players who he always wants, that ideal couple, two types
He
of,
always has
like,
that. Yeah.
he,
Højbjerg.
Yeah.
that Højbjerg is there, and then
Oh.
he always wants a physical number 9, and he gets that in Harry Kane.
Harry Kane.
And he likes the fast, wingers and strong wingers also who can run. He has that also. So I think he inherited the team in the way he likes them to be. So I think that's a good thing for Mourinho, and good thing for Tottenham.
I think Mourinho has been, of course, it's his second season. We know how successful he
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
and he's been getting a great deal out of Harry Kane. He's
Yeah.
asked him to come
Harry
deep
Kane.
and assist more. And I mean, previously you would see Harry Kane would just shoot from anywhere on the pitch just to grab
Yeah.
goals. So that aspect Mourinho has changed very well. And
Yeah.
my only concern is for Tottenham is, if they don't manage to win this season, we all know what happens with Mourinho and third seasons. There's no guarantee that it will happen, but history is the evidence
Is the
here.
marker. Is the marker.
but
Yeah,
I
so
feel
this might be
year,
Spurs'
this
best
time,
chance in
this
quite some
time
time.
history might change, because this Tottenham team has responded very well to Mourinho's coaching. They have
Yeah.
been very receptive, very
He
responsive
mentioned in
to
his
his.
All or Nothing that he will win a trophy this year.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think Harry Kane and Heung-min Son are having an affair in secret.
Yes.
I'm actually
They're like an absolute dream. I mean, the way they complement each other.
Yes.
Harry Kane knows that Son will make that run, and he such accurate passes he gives to Heung-min Son, and Heung-min Son has been brilliant.
Brilliant.
yeah,
And
they're about to break Chelsea duo's record of Drogba and Lampard's
Yeah. I
of
mean, like,
combining
Yeah.
for
for the
36
team
goals.
who's scoring so much goals, like, it's assumed like they're creating so much, but it isn't the case with Tottenham. Like, they just create one or two chances in the game and then score
And
all of
score.
them.
Yeah,
That's
because they
Mourinho. That's
And that's
create
Mourinho.
quality
Mourinho's
chances.
style.
Yeah.
That's Mourinho's
They've been
too.
So, like,
clinical.
Yes.
Mourinho's way.
do you guys think like this is sustainable for the season? So we can go and Pranay on that one first.
Yes, I would say it is, because in the past also he has managed to pull it off for the full seasons also.
Yeah.
So it will be sustainable. Whether the Tottenham players can do it, because a lot of dirty work has to be done in terms of tracking back and defending. So it also depends on when the fans come. Spurs fans want to see attacking football. Whether they'll be impressed with this kind of approach remains to be seen. But in the long term, it is sustainable. It all depends on the players.
Shivam, like, what do you think? Like, would Spurs slip up this season eventually?
They have got a lot of options. Gareth Bale hasn't he's been underused. He's still in the wings, waiting to shine. Maybe injuries might hamper their progress, but still they've got a reasonable bench. Yeah, but if they are heavily reliant on Son and Kane, if injuries or bad forms occur at the wrong time.
They do have
They've
Vinicius.
yeah, again I said they've got
Yeah.
a reasonable
Carlos
bench.
Vinicius.
Lucas Moura has been pushed out to the bench. Gareth
Bergwijn.
Bale is on the bench. Vinicius and Dele Alli is
Dele
also
Alli
on
is
the
nowhere.
bench.
I don't know, how Delhi Ali will ever come to the first team.
Yeah.
Dele Alli always scores against Chelsea, so I'm happy to see him on the bench.
Dele Alli in top 55 of the FIFA.
Yes,
I don't
I
know how
saw.
that makes any sense.
Dele Alli was during the last season when Tottenham were injury hit. Dele Alli stepped up in the absence
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Son and Kane. So now that everyone is fit and running, and Dele Alli is a bit lazy in training and all, so he's been
When
pushed
Dele
to the
Alli burst onto the scene, he had like 24 goals in some appearances, and in that many appearances, both Lampard and Gerrard only had 6.
Yeah.
So at that time, we were looking at a prodigy, but it hasn't transpired that way.
He was bought from MK Dons, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yes,
MK
that
Dons.
goal against Crystal Palace,
Yeah.
that was amazing.
Yeah,
But
there's beginner's luck.
Yeah.
Some role is played in that
Sometimes, yeah.
beginner's luck.
He's a very he's a player whose position you can't really fix, just like Thomas Muller.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll
Maybe.
probably go to PSG in January. PSG are interested. Maybe
That's interesting.
strike a deal.
So, I think we cashed up on every game. So any other fixtures you guys are looking forward to? I think we are opening with Leeds versus West Ham today.
There is the West Midlands derby. I mean, it's a big derby, I heard, between Wolverhampton and Aston Villa.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Aston Villa are playing pretty well this season.
Yeah, they're playing.
Time
Especially
ago.
away from home, Aston Villa.
Okay.
They've stuck together a good group of good bunch of lads. I mean, Ross Barkley is there, Douglas Luiz, and the talisman Jack Grealish has been beautiful.
Grealish.
I think
Outstanding.
Barkley's arrival has, he has like
Sparked.
taken some of the burden off Grealish,
Grealish.
Yeah.
Any other fixture, Shivam, you are looking forward to? We are opening with Leeds, West Ham. I don't think there are any good fixtures that come.
We've covered almost. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the United and Tottenham games.
Yeah, so
Southampton are a surprise 5th actually.
Yeah,
So that's
Southampton.
West Ham also are doing.
I wouldn't say surprised. I really like Ralph Hasenhüttl, how he has.
I
like
also
him.
admire him.
Good.
Yeah.
He's a very good coach.
Yeah.
I rate Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, yes.
Yes, Ward-Prowse.
His
Even
celebration
though
is very
his
good.
stats are not up there, his stats might not be up there, but still he's quality.
He's been on the scene ever since that breakthrough 2013-14
In 2013.
season.
Yeah.
13-14
When they had Lallana, Luke Shaw, Lambert.
That team.
Exactly.
They're hoping to see him in Liverpool for next season then. Probably gonna join them.
The Liverpool scouting team.
Yeah.
Liverpool's Youth Academy.
I still do miss Danny Ings.
Yeah.
The guy
Yeah.
was.
So let's end it with some Manchester Derby prediction. Shivam, what are you going for?
I'll probably go 2-1 United if Bruno plays. Bruno gets a brace.
Okay.
And for City, I guess Jesus will score or Mahrez.
Siddharth, what
I
about
think I'll go for a 3-1 City win.
you? Alright.
I'll go for 2-2.
2-2.
An entertaining match. Let's hope we get that.
Yeah. Siddharth, what about you?
2-2 sounds good enough.
Okay. Anuj, what about you?
For?
Sorry?
The derby.
But which team to win?
2-2.
Draw.
2-2, okay.
Okay,
2-2.
Anuj?
I will go for 2-0 Manchester City. KDB and Mahrez.
Okay. I have to actually ask you, the Arsenal game is on Sunday at 12:45. Are you gonna even be up for it?
Yes, yes. Sure.
I mean, it's against
I did watch
Burnley.
Europa League as well.
It's against Burnley, man. They're gonna
Great
put,
dedication.
yeah, it's
Yes.
against
Hey,
Burnley.
I also want to ask you a question. I mean, as neutrals, how many of you want Ole out?
No, I want to win, man.
No, I want him to remain because so that Man U don't perform well. As
Yeah,
soon as a new manager comes in, they'll again rise to the top.
Alex, seriously,
Pochettino.
hope, yeah, I hope they don't get poached.
Yeah, Poch needs to
Poch.
be back in the job.
Yeah.
He's a great coach.
He needs to be. He's too good to be out there.
Yeah, exactly.
He might go to Real Madrid. We don't know.
Oh,
That's it.
that's a bad
That
thing.
might be a different challenge. Already managed in the Premier League, so he might want something else.
So I think,
But I don't think Zidane, will easily, leave his role because whenever
But
the
I
team
heard
wants, yeah,
that
then
he'll quit himself after this season.
I mean, he did it the first time too, right? Like, after
Yeah.
Ronaldo left, he,
Yeah, he left himself.